Soy Marta Isabel Rojas Cortés, representante legal de la Fundación La Casa Sobre la Roca, entidad sin ánimo de lucro creada el 15 de marzo del 2018 en el corregimiento de Chagres, municipio de Jamundí. Un elemento principal del objeto social de la Fundación es la recuperación del patrimonio cultural ancestral afrodescendiente. Por esta razón, el quehacer cultural de la Fundación reside en las actividades artísticas y musicales. La Fundación La Casa Sobre la Roca cuenta en la actualidad con una serie de programas de formación dirigidos principalmente a la niñez y a la juventud. Estos son algunos de los programas que ofrecemos. La Escuela de Modelaje Afro, que busca inculcar la importancia de valorar nuestras costumbres con los peinados, vestuarios y maquillajes propios de la cultura afrocolombiana.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Life's Milkshake Moment with health coach Joe D.
Welcome to Life's Milkshake Moments. I've got to learn how to say La Sobre la Roca, la Fundación de Colombia in, and put the word of hope in Espanol. I'm going to do this in a minute because hope is a word in any language. Hope is that we really, really believe spiritually. What is hope? And the Fundación de la Ropa de Sobre is just a foundation and a charity. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to say that I'm associated with as not only a health coach, a nutritionist, an activist, a philanthropist. This group I've never seen crossing generations to bring the spirit of community, as we're talking about today, to bring the spirit back to what people really believe. Here we have orphans on one side. They have no parents. We have the elderly on the other side. They have no one. Putting them together under one roof, La Fundación de la Ropa Sobre. They are doing amazing things in Colombia. So DM me if you want information about how you too can be a part of this amazing charity. And welcome again to another edition of Life's Milkshake Moments. Life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, life will be oh so sweet. My background, as you know, is just one of a health coach and holistic nutritionist of over 40 years, 42 years to be exact. 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost, not weight loss, toxic fat. And I've assisted over 2,000 people to reclaim and regain their health during this COVID era. Serving these clients, you know what I found is that success is a spiritual thing. Success in these is an inside job. And thus it is with our spiritual pillar here tonight. You see, little Jody, small town Montana, I found that my gift was hope. I gave my mother hope. When, as a young girl, I found out I could sing, and sing I did. She gave me music lessons, just money that she could ill afford so that she could go ahead and feed my talent, but I fed her hope. Isn't that just like it works? And yes, the intro, as I've said many times, so I had the pleasure with Grammy Award-winning artist Alicia Williamson to sing the background vocals. There is hope. You're going to hear a riveting story today on Life's Milkshake Moments, or tonight, or the next day, whenever you hear it, when it's on a replay from KP Media TV. And I tell you, you're going to know that there is hope. There's hope to reclaim in your spiritual life. There's hope along your journey. And remember that health is like hope. It's not something you do, but it's who you are along life's journey. And as you know, if you follow me, we absolutely focus every single week on one aspect of the 6-pillar lifestyle: spiritual, mental, emotional. Then we go to social, and after financial. But tonight it's going to be spiritual. The top pillar, that is the filler, I should say. The top pillar, that's the filler for them all. Well, and before our Ignite commercial break, our sponsor on KP Media, Life's Milkshake Moments, I want you to know that I'm honored to be in a project with this amazing, remarkable, just soulful human being in our Ignite Wisdom book, Malissia Woodall. And Malissia is writing in not only her solo book, as I am with Ignite Publishing and JB Owen, but she's writing in Ignite Wisdom as well. So after this commercial break, get ready to get your hopeful, hope-filled life with hope and hopeful for your life, but none other than Malissia Woodall, award-winning screenplay writer, just beautiful, spirit-filled woman, dancer, just artistic woman extraordinaire, and a best-selling author. And now let's take a moment with Ignite Publishing. Know that in your health and in your spirit, you can find those pieces of hope for you, because there's possibilities through it all.
It's breakthrough day. You woke up this morning and you decided, you know what? Today's the day. I'm going to make a difference today. I'm going to do that exercise. I'm going to learn that course. I'm going to start doing my life differently today. Today's the day. So go after it. Grab hold of that feeling inside that you're going to do today differently, and start. If that means putting on your running shoes, do that. If that means emptying out the fridge or the cupboards of all the food that you don't need, then do that. If that means sitting down at the computer and filling out those forms or learning that course, then it's time to do that. Because today is breakthrough day. Today's the day that you take the motivation inside of you that you've been feeling for however long, and you go after it. You don't let your body or your brain or your mind or anyone else in your universe stop you from doing what it is you want. Because breakthrough day means breaking through the old ideas, the old patterns, the habits that have held you back, and doing it differently. In a breakthrough day, you don't stop, you don't question, you don't wonder, and you don't compare. You certainly don't look backwards. You look forwards and you go after it. So today's the day that you've decided you're going to break through an old limiting belief or get rid of a pattern. Then let's do it together. One foot in front of the other. Let's decide that this is the day things are going to be different. So what does that mean? It means making a list of what it is you want to accomplish. It means using positive affirmations to propel you forward. It means only positive languaging in your mind. It means writing down things that are going to help you achieve what it is you want. It means seeing success happening to you. You're going to do this. You're going to get this. You're going to figure this out. You're going to feel everything you need to feel each and every step along the way as you do it. Because when you do the work and you overcome the struggles, it gets easier and easier. Your muscles are like, I got this. Your brain is like, I can do this. Your soul is like, thank you, because I wanted this. So on a day like today, nothing can stop you. You're going for it. You're moving and you're grooving and you're feeling it. And you're taking action and you're making plans and you're surrounding yourself with people who support you. Because on breakthrough days, you can break through anything. You can break through the old. Ignite possibilities. It's the idea that anything is possible. In fact, anything and everything is absolutely possible. We just need to start believing in that. There's a lot of conversations going on the planet, and one of them needs to be about possibilities. We need to inspire and ignite possibilities in all of our minds once again to believe that things are possible. We can change the planet when we step into the idea that what is possible is absolutely possible, and we can go after that. We can do that. We can dream more. We can aspire for more. We can have more. We can include more. We can create more. We just have to believe it. Start doing it. Working in that direction. Having that conversation. Understanding that what's possible is truly impossible in each of us. Igniting possibilities. That's the idea. That's what we need to start talking about. Ignite possibilities in me, in you, in everyone, in humanity. When we raise ourselves up, we raise each other up. And when we start going after what's possible in our own lives, we give permission for everyone, every single person on the planet to go after what's possible for them. Ignite possibilities. Ignite a possibility in you. Ignite possibilities in someone else. And we can change the world.
Wow. I didn't know. You never know what's going to happen on live TV. I just look at my Ignite catalog of videos and it just popped out at me. Who says no to you? Breakthrough Day. That's truly, truly our guest here today. Who said no? She had breakthroughs. And if she can do it, you can do it. Ignite possibilities. She's ignited possibilities in more people because of Malissia Woodall being the filmmaker, the producer, singer, songwriter, performer, and she just cares deeply. Malissia Woodall is a Seattle-based professional. She loves women in film, and she cares for the environment and animals, and I love that. In her 2008 Christmas CD, The Gift of Christmas, she donated all the proceeds to Born Free USA animal rights charity. So she's a philanthropist as well. We have that in common, and there's much, much more. Her award-winning screenplays, lyrics, and poetry have featured in many publications. Over the past 20 years, Malissia and her projects create awareness for safe and fair opportunities for women, minorities, LGBTQ, and her industry with absolute focus on spirituality and mental health. She's also been a holistic healer. She's a spiritual counselor. She has centers for spiritual living, and she's been doing this for the past 2 decades. She's now working, as I said, on her first Ignite chapter, just like my first Ignite chapter was Ignite the Hunger in You. We are in this book together, Ignite Wisdom. Just with her biography, can't you feel the real on what she is going to be bringing to Ignite Wisdom? And she just knows for her own spiritual journey through healing spiritual trauma and living the principle that our Creator doesn't get it wrong. While writing her first feature-length novel and trilogy, well, that is due in the summer of 2022. Malissia, you might be in Seattle, I might be in Florida, but we are absolutely spiritual and geographic soul sisters. And welcome to life's milkshake moment, because Malissia, you are a milkshake unto yourself. Welcome.
Thank you, Jody. You're such a beautiful light. Thank you for having me. Oh, I love how the light just came on when I said that about you. Don't you love that?
Yes, isn't that amazing? You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Yes, you look fabulous, fabulous. And so I just want to take us through a little bit of you, your story, your journey, and how we are just igniting wisdom with, now it will be Ignite Publishing's 19th best-selling book in 2 years. Isn't that crazy? And I'm so glad that we're apart. So give a little bit of more background about you, anything that you would like to add about your intro, especially the Native American part. So you're a Native American Indian with blonde hair now. Isn't that kind of fun?
Yes, I'm what my Native friends call a white Native. My father looked very Native American. He had black hair and dark skin. And I do get dark skin if I go out and tan, but I have his features. I absolutely am the one that got the nose. I love my nose. And we were also Irish, so he had blue eyes. And so we're a lovely mix of beautiful heritage, and we're registered Native American. So I was raised going to powwow and believing in the Great Spirit, along with also going to church And my aunt, practiced the arts of holistic and shamanic healing and divine sacred feminine. And I get to talk about that, like you said, in the book that we are doing in our chapter, is going into, I never get to talk about where all of this came from. So when I write, and I'm a songwriter as well, when I write all this rich, deep, God soul-filled goodness, it comes from having a rich, deep, God soul-filled past of wonderful upbringing with some amazing, magical, spiritual, as well as religious family and past. And as much as it grew me as this amazing person that I got to be and get to be, it also influenced how much I love to give and share and help others. It's a big part of what I do, as well as what my past, as you said, so I'm a filmmaker, I'm a songwriter, I'm a performer, I do it all. I love every part of everything that is, and I call it God-centered everything. It's all that I see as the divine through me. And I just try to get out of the way. So, in my 20s, of course, I used to take it as like, look at me, look at what I can do. This is all, I'm so talented, I'm so yay. And then the older I got and the more I worked knowingly with God, if you're a fan of Walter Russell at all, the man who tapped the secrets of the universe, is that he said the most perfect thing in his book with Glenn Clark was, I work knowingly with God. None of this is mine, like Michelangelo. It's like, I just get rid of all the marble that shouldn't be there. I'm painting everything that I'm just putting the paint where it needs to be, but it's all God.
Chiseling everything away that didn't need to be there. And as I call it, Malissia, and we're going to get a little psychedelic with a little warm, little cool light. I love it. I love it. And as I call the original of the original name for, as you say, God, it's Yahuwah or Yah, which is a beautiful expression. Think about being a musician, you say, yeah, it just works and it just comes. That's right. Exactly. I didn't want to make the light go like this. It would have been much louder. So think about how this just all comes through you. And that's what I felt the first time I met you. I thought, this is just like, not a volcano. That would be much too explosive. This is like Old Faithful. It just spurts out and it's a beautiful geyser. And we just feel the steam, feel the warmth, feel the beauty. And that's true. And I felt the beauty, and I know I'm going to feel the beauty in your story. Tell us about your religious trauma and how you got to the other side. That is a life's milkshake moment. JB calls it an ignite moment. I call it life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, because you did. You chose the ingredients wisely, that delicious milkshake, and got through the other side to put your cherry on top. Please share.
Yes, and I love that. So my favorite name for God, for the divine, is Elohim. I just loved it. I love how it comes off the tongue. I love it. Like you say, it's very poetic. And so I love poetry. I love lyrics. And it's like Elohim. It's like, so it's like a hug. And so I had, when I was growing up, so this gets to be in my stories, when I was growing up, it was very natural and normal in my family to have gifts and talents. My aunt sang, she had the most beautiful voice. And I thought, oh, if I could ever sing like her, I'd never stop singing. She sang opera, she sang at church. She's just beautiful. And my dad loved, he had a gorgeous voice too. And also she was clairvoyant. She was a psychic. She did seances. We went to powwow, but we were very magical. And it was normal in my household to be healers and shamans and to be magical and it be of Jesus, of God. It's God's gifts. Nothing. It wasn't dark and evil. It wasn't thought of that way. And then as a teenager, so I became a street kid, more or less. I moved out at 13. I moved in with a friend. I was my own independent wild self. I had things to do and places to go. But by the time I was 15, I was staying with a friend and going to his parents' church, his Baptist church, because, my family was Baptist, Southern Baptist raised. And I went there and I just, naively thought, oh my God, they're just gonna, I'm gonna have the best time. They asked me to sing there. I was like, yes, of course. I loved it. And what ended up happening is the more I got to express me, the real me, and stopped hiding behind, what other people thought of me, and really came out more as who I was, like I was with my family, where, we did healing. My aunt had me heal the cats when my hands got hot. And it was very normal to have gifts come out as well as talents. So what ended up happening at the church, I stayed with them. I spent so much time with picnics. I trusted them so much that more of me started coming out, and I really believed in Jesus and his miracle working powers. And I really believed from a place of, you can do all things that I have done and greater things. And I really embodied that. I mean, I really love studying the Bible, the New Testament. I loved the red words. I loved anything Jesus said. But what ended up happening is that they then had a different idea of my gifts. And so what I am is clairsentient. Clairvoyant was my dad and my aunt. It's very normal in our family. We're native. And I'm clairsentient. So I'm much more like a expanded empath, somebody who can really feel and get real hits on things. And so I use it for my psychic abilities and the way I read with my clients, 30 years later. But back then, they were scared of me. So they got my friends together, and I could feel something was up, but I wanted to trust them. I wanted them, I was like, what could possibly be wrong? And so they exercised me. They scared the crap out of me. I'll tell you that, is that they got me in the house, they threw me on the bed, and they performed an exorcism. And it was so traumatic. It was genuinely traumatic to have my friends stand around, watch adults hold me down, speak in tongues, do the water. And then when they decided that I was, the evil was out of me, then they hugged and wanted to be my best friend again. And the whole time I'm just in shock. And at this point, I'm just a 16-year-old girl.
Oh my.
And none of my family around.
That's big. 16. So it's some sweet 16 present. Whoa.
It was awful. It was like, I attune it to like spiritual rape, honestly, because I had no power. They disempowered me completely. They thought they got the devil out. And what I'm so grateful for is that they didn't scare God out of me. I didn't go away from God, but I did go away from the church for 20 years. I did not go back. I was scared of them. I was scared of what they were willing to do to anybody, a kid who showed up like Jesus. And I was like, I so don't understand. I mean, you believe in this Jesus guy and everything he does. I'm taught to believe all of this. But then when somebody shows up with any kind of gifts and gives them completely over to God, that's not how they wanted to take their God and their religion.
Because it's control. It is control. And that is not you allowing yourself to be your best you. As it went dark when we said that. So let's bring us to the light. Yes. on that piece that was on getting to the other side.
Yes, it was. So the beautiful news is, it didn't scare God away, and it didn't get rid of my gifts at all. Like, it didn't do anything other than just scare me away from them. And what's amazing is that through the years, my gifts got stronger. I continued to practice. And then I was called back to God through basically a religious, like, pastor and leadership conference. I couldn't believe God called me to this, And so I went on this journey. I went on these mission trip. I was just me and God, holy rolling. And I kept hearing God. And I was saying, God, what do you want to do through me? What am I meant to do with these gifts? Because I really knew I was meant to give them back to God. It wasn't just for my own purpose.
Sure.
And from that, I went on this journey, which I write about, is that I went into the fog, literally. I couldn't see. And then I went into the fog, literally, came out the other side. And with that, and with this, trip to all the missions and then to the pastor and leadership conference, I came out the other side knowing that I meant to see other people like I need to be seen, or I needed to be seen.
And guess what, Malissia? We're done. Mum's the word, because they got to buy the book for the rest of the chapter. I mean, that's just the name of the game, because we got to. So, I mean, I know that I've got a word that I put when I sent you our questions and how we were going to do this is you call it intuitive. I had a wonderful spiritual woman, Reverend Massey Washington from Atlanta. And she called herself an involutionist, because you have created an inner revolution in people. People see you, they resemble your light. And I'm telling you, you're bringing this back. You brought your gift back to teens, to doing workshops and retreats. And just share with our audience about this work, would you please?
Yeah, so all of this came around, and I was already doing one-on-one, like what would be intuitive or psychic readings. I didn't need cards or anything. I just worked knowingly with them. But what it is the way I put it is I give people back to themselves, or I give God back to you, the divine back to you through you. And I do it one-on-one. I do workshops, retreats. I work with teens who are so great. You know, I love working with teens. I do that with the Center of Spiritual Living. I've worked with Unity. I've sang there. I've really, all that I've honed it down to, filtered it down to, is everything I do is God-centered. Everything is giving God back to you, through me, to you, and just being that mirror of what we're all looking for in the divine. And when I work one-on-one with people, is I take what they have and we do therapy, spiritual counseling and therapy, and I give them their true selves back to them, and we decipher it down really quickly. When I do retreats, workshops, all of that is turning it right back around and empowering you and taking you out of the victim state of being disempowered, or in a situation just like I was, right? I was disempowered and I was in a situation I couldn't do anything about. And I just
taking a selfie on your phone. Oh, you're switching the camera and we're going to take a selfie on your phone. It's as easy as that. What a beautiful, to switch it around. And they see, this is what exactly, that thumbprint, your thumbprint, they're both not the same. They're both unique. And you give that back to people. And you've been doing this for so many years. I mean, now let's just fast forward in the time that we've got remaining about your gift of writing.
Yes.
I mean, that is, and for those of you that don't know, I'm a big writer of, I do one featured article a month in Senior Living, and I do one featured article for another periodical that is Mind, Body, Green. You probably hear it. And I've written one chapter in one book. I am so not a writer, but I'm learning how to be a writer. And now because I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, I'm a motivational speaker. That's me in front of the camera, so to speak, or on stage. But my goodness, just like I know the difference between playing my piano and singing, it's a completely different skill to go ahead and be a screenplay writer and be an award winner. Now you're going to be a best-selling author. I mean, what a gifted human being you are, my dear. That is something just extraordinary. So how did you get into writing?
So I have been a poet my whole life. I used to write poetry about and for God, even as a child. I loved writing poetry. It turned out that later on, I found out about Romy and Hafiz, and I wrote like them because I was adoring God. And about my situation, I also wrote dark poetry because I really loved, horror movie stuff and all that. So I had this very two different sides. Then it turned into my teens, I realized I could put music to that. And I became a lyricist and a songwriter very quickly because my poetry just lent towards storytelling. Eventually, I ended up writing short stories and just enjoying the process, but not seeing it as a career at all because I was doing everything else. I even went down I was a sales rep for many years at trade shows. So I was doing everything else. And I finally went back to school for recording and singing and making music. And I ended up, because I had some extra time, over with directing and writing for film. And I was like, I could do this as an elective, sure. And I end up over there. And now 5 years later, after it was about 6 years ago I started, but 5 years later, I am now an award-winning filmmaker. My films have won, you're going to love this. My short film for the Consent Film Festival won Most Inspiring Film. And I love that it was the most inspiring, as opposed to, all the other things, titles. Most inspiring is that it was about two kids loving each other and being kind to each other while they were going through difficulty. And so it was just a short film. And so I wrote and directed that one. And then being a screenwriter, my stories lent to it easily because as a songwriter, you already have to get a story down really kind of in a succinct way. So
in music, yeah.
When I went into screenplay writing, I was like, oh yeah. And so it lent well. And then what's funny is now as writing my novel is the exact opposite, right? Now I have to elaborate where everything else was like, no, just get to the point and, get it on screen. What do we see? And an exact opposite for writing a novel. So I'm up like you, I'm up against a challenge of learning how to be a different version of a writer now.
It's like in my athletic prowess too. It's the difference between interval sprint and a marathon, or going ahead and learning how to do the coloratura, but then you want to sing Wagner. It's just a different discipline within the discipline, but you found it so perfectly because you are a spiritual, soulful, intuitive, involutionist inspirer. You've got 3 eyes, because that is that third eye. Maybe that has a kind of a ring to it. I want you to receive that. It just kind of came to me. But think about our venture. Think about our venture adventure. How did you find, or how did Ignite find you?
You're going to love this. Okay. Because of course, divinely led is that there was a beautiful person on one of my business calls. So for Seattle business, I was on a Seattle business call for entrepreneurs and business makers, during the COVID, everything, we were getting funding and grants. And I was on a call, and a lady kept saying, her name's Tracy, and I can't remember her last name right now, but she kept saying how she's a best-selling author, and then she would go on about whatever, and then she would say she's a best-selling author. And I just thought that was so unique that somebody would keep calling it out. Even if Stephen King was on the call, I didn't think he would say that. And I just thought, well, what is she doing? And I just was curious. I was like, well, if she's going to keep telling us this, I want to find out who she is. So while she was still on the call, I messaged her on the chat. I was like, who are you? What's your book? And then, of course, she puts it in. And then while the call's wrapping up, so I can make sure to see it, I go Google her, and then I go to her website, which you're going to love, that's just it. And then I see she's written in like 3 Ignite books. And I was like, what is Ignite? What is this? What is she doing? What are these collaborations? And then, of course, I just followed the breadcrumbs that God was leaving me. And next thing I know, I'm on a call with JB going, hey, I have a book in me that God is, I was inspired. I literally was listening to Sacred Geometry. Just learning about it and learning about the Vescus Pisces and about the sacred geometry and flower of life. I had to stop what I was doing for 6 hours. I wrote a full treatment for the first book, all 18 chapters. I wrote it out in 6 hours just so that I could have it down. And just like you would in a screenplay, you write the treatment and then you go back and you write the screenplay. Well, this
Stream of consciousness.
Yes, it's like so in a novel, it's I guess the outline. So I went and I wrote this down. And then I happened to be on the phone with JB because we kept missing each other. And by now I have this treatment. And I said, hey, I've got this idea. So we now talk. She says, yes, we can, I can do the white glove. We can definitely, absolutely get your book out there. And I was like, well, what is, and then she's like, I've got this wisdom book. And I'm like, oh, that's what Tracy did. So you just love that. I listened to somebody else claiming their good. And I just followed the breadcrumbs of my good.
Because you always like attracts like. You let Tracy switch the screensaver on you. And screensaver, I shouldn't say it is on my screensaver now because we are on it, but switching to doing a selfie, and you just looked in the phone. It was your spiritual selfie. You do that all the time. You're just such an amazing, amazing, amazing woman. And we are going to be, ladies and gentlemen, we will be launching this book somewhere mid-May. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of wisdom nuggets on these Life's Milkshake Moments, a lot of wisdom sprinkles, a little wisdom cherry, a lot of wisdom, whatever that ice cream looks like, because it's all great wisdom. I know these authors. I was telling somebody today, because the next book, Malissia, is going to be Ignite Forgiveness. I said, oh, no, I just thought of you. This is how, because JB Owen is one of the most heart-centered entrepreneurs I've ever known. And she is so giving and loving. It's always 150%. My goodness, she's out there. My goodness. It just, you want to give back to humanity because of what she's given us. And I know that just this journey of being on these coaching calls, learning branding, we do a feature on Fridays. So what has that meant to you, being such a gifted soul? But what has that meant to you this last, I guess now 3 months that we've been on this journey together, Malissia?
It's wonderful to have somebody, like you said, so heart-centered supporting you. They're not in something I've had to deal with, and I'm sure you have too, Jody, is as a woman in the industry of any kind, there's always competition with other women that don't understand their own power, their own centeredness, or, with men and their, in the power control and the idea of trying to push people down. None of that with JB. She's so supportive. So these 3 months, what have I gotten out of it is 100% that's just lovely support, joy. She's always full of positivity and joy.
And that laugh. Okay, I just got to say, that laugh. She's got a laugh like anybody. She lights up the room with her laugh. Okay, I go on.
Well, and the other thing is she's living she's a living example. That's really was important to me when I first was talking to her before I signed up. I was like, what's so beautiful is she's a living example in her relationship, in her parenting, in how she shows up in her stories in the books, because she's in there. She does the work along with us, and she's out there creating an amazing empire. And then she's a great example. So I was like, oh, I would like to get in the fire with this person. I want to yoke with this person who is a living example of where I'm going and where I want to go, and who believes in me and supports me in a non-competitive, heart-centered, wonderful way. And then I met all you wonderful ladies, and all of you are just lovely. So I'm just like, of course, like attracts like. You've already said it.
And we've attracted some, just so that you don't, just because it is the last time you'll see this pink screen, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of Women's Awareness Month. JB went ahead and launched our wonderful event 2 Saturdays ago with Ignite TV. The Power of a Woman, Ignite Your Life event. She relaunched, and it became a second-time bestseller. The first book, Ignite Your Life for Women's Health, became a bestseller again. And The Power of a Woman, you'll hear from the perspective of real men. I always say we're enlightened women, but there are powerful men that write in this book. DJ and Paul and Peter and Micah, my goodness, Peter Geeson, JB's husband, is going to be in this book, and how powerful it is to see the yin and yang, the harmony of both men and women, and the harmony, because you are a creation unlike none other. You are in that creative space. As Wallace D. Wallace said, there is a creative space in which all things are made that permeate, penetrate, and fill the inner spaces of the universe. And that's what your talent has filled the inner spaces of this universe. You are just that same woman. He goes on to say in his iconic book, if you haven't read it, well, it was only written in 1912, and it's been repositioned for sure. But he says, if you can just do daily, consecutive, positive, sustained thoughts, and make them sustained, consecutive, and positive, and that's what you do. I can feel it in you. I know that in your sharing, you probably have a free gift for our audience. Would you please share it, Melissa?
I will, and this is the first time I've ever offered a free gift, because Jody mentioned it, and I was like, oh, wow. In my now 30 years of doing one-on-ones readings with people, I've never offered a free gift because of a reciprocal universe. And it's, was super important. And I was sitting there with it, and I thought, oh, I love that, aligning with it. So my free gift to anybody who happens to see this and would like to reach out, of course, I'm building my website. I'm redoing it. I took it down. It was much more creative based, and now it's going to be everything. My Angel of Light Productions, which is all of me and all that I have, is coming up. So in the meantime, if you happen to Google or find me on my Facebook page or social medias, you just look for Malissia Woodall. I'm all out there. Reach out to me and message, and you'll get a free half hour. I'll give you a free half hour to check in with me, and we will have a wonderful God-centered conversation that will give you back to yourself. And then if you would like to sign up with me and do any more and further work, I do 90-minute sessions. And then that is my paid all the time, what I get paid to do in this world. I get paid to be me, right? I love that. Right. We all do. We're all learning that we're getting paid to be us. And for those who are looking to want to know how to get paid to be themselves, I give you back to yourself, and whether it's your career, your relationship. I really work on mental and health and well-being like you do, Jody. It's like the holistic, full body, full self approach, the full God-centered self. And so anybody who would like to have 30 minutes with me, that is my gift to you.
Beautiful. And can you imagine 30 for free? 30 for free. And you can find, but make sure you spell it correctly. It's M-A-L-I-S-S-I-A. It's not Melissa. You're going to miss her. Malissia. Yes. Malissia Woodall, because she would be all that she could be. And that is just how you're going to remember that name, Woodall, because she is just all. And I know that you have that last piece of wisdom in our last few minutes that we're sharing. And I've just got to tell you, this has been precious to me.
Oh, so lovely.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Sakes alive. What is your last piece of spiritual wisdom?
My last piece of spiritual wisdom for you and everybody is, how I show up this way. You said, how I can feel this off of you. When we first met, you could feel it off of me. And you even mentioned it a few moments ago. It's like, whether I do affirmations, what do I do every day, and meditation? I will give you my secret to success. For the last 10 years, I have been tithing 10% of my day back to God. 2 hours and 40 minutes. 2 hours in the morning, 40 minutes before I go to bed is God's, or the divine source, universe, however that shows up for you. I give that over. So sometimes that means when I was in Egypt, we would have to go to the Sphinx or something at 4 a.m. That means I got up at 2 a.m., even if I went to bed at 10. I give that time back, and when you do, and you enrich that version of you, I mean, honestly, you're just giving it to yourself. When you give it to God, you're giving it to you, your true inner self. And it enriches you in ways that life shows up for you in beautiful, wonderful expressions, like getting to be on a podcast with Jody Bear.
And it will be there on KP Media TV for the next 40 weeks because of you. Who knows where this is going to go? And Malissia, truly, truly, as my guest last week, Josh Payne, who is a extraordinary financial just expert in Silicon Valley, he said, tithe your time, tithe your talents, then tithe your money.
Amen.
Because when you tithe your talents and your time, then you will have more money to give. And that's what you've done. And you have given us 110%. Malissia, from the bottom of my heart to yours, I have to do something I have never done before. I'm just going to commemorate this, and we're going to go, geez, we're going to be just touristy. We're going to send this to JB. I'm going to do it as soon as we get up, because here are her spiritual twins, her spiritual souls for the last day on of what we now know is Women's Empowerment Month. But you have empowered more than men. We've empowered men as well. Women and soulful creatures because of who you are. Malissia, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And let's go now to a commercial break, shall we?
Mwah.
Mwah. Only 220 of the hardcover version? No. There are now 174 books that are left. Why is this important to me? Because it's my coach and mentor. As I've said, and you saw Jay Noland finish up and be the EndNote speaker for the Power of a Woman Ignite Your Life event. Jay Noland is my coach and mentor for many, many years, going up into 7 years now. I believe this is the quintessential relationship book. The title is The Power of a Woman from the Perspective of Real Men. Mr. Jay Noland wrote this book, inspired as all books are, because he thought he and his wife, Lena, were going to have a daughter. He saw that women were maligned, they were abused, and he didn't want to bring his daughter in to this world. Now, how it was divinely ordained, they didn't have a little girl. They had a little boy who is now 7 years old. But the gift that he's given to humanity, or the power of a woman from the perspective of real men, and just go back and find under the events.kpmedia.tv, find that link, find the part of what he said about men. Men, if you are abusing a woman, if you are mistreating a woman, look out, look behind your shoulder, because she's coming after you. And when you've got a former Major League Baseball player from the San Diego Padres saying this, with shoulders like this, built like Emmitt Smith, and he could swing a bat, and you're going, whoa, we better listen. So it not only is for real men, but it's for real women to get that power, to just be inspired by the 21 chapters that he's written in this book. When you get this limited edition, which is also a best-selling book, and has been released in its hardcover edition. It's a special edition that Jay Nolan himself would go ahead and put his author seal. It's going to be NFT tied. So here you've got a book written by a former Major League Baseball player with an NFT, however that works, I'm not sure. But the limited edition includes the author stamp, like I said, the autograph, a 1-year subscription to his 365 Confidential. You get his amazing 3 months of, you've heard me talk about confidence tones that I consulted in this just audio immersion so that you can restore, renew, and rebuild any part of your 6-pillar life, either spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, or financial. And it does much, much more as well. And know that there's a social media platform, social marketing, if you're an entrepreneur, for free, and access to a closed group, which is just bringing not Mars, Venus, not the battle of the sexes. How about the harmony of the sexes together? Real Men, Power Women course that he's soon to be launching this summer of 2022 for free. It is an $1,100 value for $229. That's it. So go to powerofawomanbook.com to snag your NFT, your absolute relationship manual. Do it today. And yes, I want to go into one other thing, talk about snagging your space, snagging this. We are launching the 5 days to pristine clean this Monday in honor of spring. And frankly, I just want you to go through and think about this. Can you say yes to any of these? Belly bloat, stress and sleep, need better digestion, more energy, winter weight gain, or how do I keep my body alkaline and disease free? How do I food combine? We will be covering this and much, much more. I can say on this arena, 1 million pounds of toxic fat lost, the systems and clinical tests that we are doing right now to boost your immune system naturally, that I'm honored to be a part of, but even more so, just seeing the simple pedestrian, just easy steps, but simple to do, simple not to do, those easy steps for you to go in. We'll be doing a 1-hour course at high noon, health at high noon, noon to 1 every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. My Sabbath is Friday, since it's a spiritual show. I'm going to say that. And then we're going to wind up on Saturday, an hour earlier. And I'll tell you why in just a minute, from 11 to 12. This is out there as a course for $795. But to my KP Media audience, you know I'm offering it as a $197 course. All you need to do is DM me at Health Coach Jody. I'll give you the log on information and log in information. You share with me your email and your phone number, and you're in there. You're in with the health coaching, pristine, clean tribe. We have testimonies. They just go on and on and on. But this is what I know with any of this. Look and ask about your health. Is it more important to take vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E? How about a dose of vitamin me? Do that every single day. If you're feeling a little low, take that dose of vitamin me. Take that dose to get in and be functioning your best, body, mind, and spirit. Why is the spirit at the end? Because you have to have a functional body and be mentally acute to know when the spirit comes in. Malissia Woodall, as gifted as she is, wouldn't be doing this spiritual work for humanity in the kingdom had she not had a strong body, strong mind, and then the spirit is an overshadowing of this. Because at the end of the day, no greater force on earth is except for the human will. It is the will. I will until end spirit. Decisions determine destiny. Malissia decided to get on the other side of her trauma. Malissia decided to write her solo book, after being a screenplay and an award-winning writer and filmmaker and everything. Malissia decided to do this. You decide today to do you, to take that cell phone, flip it around and see the selfie in the mirror of you and decide to have that decision, which will determine your destiny, your life. And that commitment to you, whether it's 5 days to pristine clean, getting the 30-minute free session with Malissia, spelled Malissia Wood, she will be all of that in 30 minutes. Or contacting me at Health Coach Jody. It is all because you will decide to make that commitment, not for us, but for you. And when you're done, you will hear, when you have done this, at the finish line, whenever that is, well done, thou great and faithful servant. Enter the kingdom, because you have listened and taken care of your body, because it is a spiritual gift. You have taken care of your mind, not for clogging it up on GMOs and this, that, and the other, and inflammation nation. And you've taken care of your spirit. So you can hear our Creator say, well done, good and faithful servant. And next week, we're doing another servant with absolutely the servant of servants with the global voice, Les Brown. I am so excited that KP Media has allowed us to yet do another event. It is April 9th from 1 to 4:30 p.m. It is Master Game Changers. You want to know how to change your game of life, to move your chess pieces around. We have come together as the inner circle of Les Brown. Les Brown will be our focal point as a mid-note speaker, but we're going through and telling you how to be the best that you can be for the remainder of 2022, to be the game changer, to know how to change and to choose to live, to choose to love, to choose your future in a career, and to choose your wealth journey. Those 4 pillars and 13 speakers will be extraordinary, and it will be right here on KP Media Live, events.kpmedia.tv, with the legendary Les Brown, the greatest of all time. And next Wednesday, I have the pleasure of my co-host for this event, Dolores Jones, who's been a former TV co-anchor, and we are going to light it up. She is as big as all outdoors. Just get ready for Mrs. Bear, Dr. Bear, and Mrs. Jones. We're doing it on Life's Milkshake Moment next Wednesday. So I want to just wrap this spiritual pillar up in a nice little bow, as JB would say. Listen to the whispers of your own wisdom, for in those whispers is life. And in life, there is always, always hope. Remember, hope stands for H, to heal. Go down into yourself, because no one knows you like you do they? Transformation is an inside job, so is healing. To go up in opportunity to your true north, whatever that is to you, and to come in positivity, to be and live the law of attraction, and then to go out to empower yourself, then your circle, and eventually the world. That is your calling for wisdom. It certainly is Malissia Woodall's just lovely, lovely, inspired, soulful self. And remember, you can always find me on healthcoachjody.com. That's Jody with 2 E's, healthcoachjody.com. You can go to my social media handles. It's at Health Coach Jody for all social media handles. But if you want to do it old school, call me at 800-820-0854. That's 800-820-0854. But always, always remember, health isn't something you do. It's who you are along life's journey. So I want to thank Malissia Woodall, this beautiful spiritual creature, gifted creature, for just sharing my TV show here tonight, and also for the people that were listening to it again and again and again. And always remember that life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, your life will be it might even be so Malissia Woodall sweet. And until next week, with our Master Game Changers preview and Dolores Jones, I'm just going to say, this is Dr. J saying, have a healthy day.